Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tim Foster with Northern Woods Wellness, and I am bringing you episode 3 of Find Your True North podcast series and vlog series today. So today is April 28th, and we're running a little bit late today. I apologize. We've had a lot of chaotic family events that have happened, and unfortunately some loss and challenging experiences. So we've had a little bit of delay at our clinic as well as with the vlog post, so I do apologize for that. But today I really want to just jump right on in and give you some details about mental health that I think are going to be really important moving well into everyone's future, especially currently in our political environment as well as in just our personal lives. We have to truly know what mental health is, so that is what we're going to do today. A couple housekeeping pieces just to let you know. We do have some more availability for clients. So if you are looking to connect with one of our therapists, right now I am stepping back as a full-time clinician and doing more part-time, but that is going to leave our other therapists open for treatment options. So we have Tyler Crotto, Tara Thiel, and then Kelly Swartos, who are going to be available and are currently and are continuing to take new clients at this time. So at this time, I'm not taking on new clients, but it doesn't mean that we are unable to serve you. So we have a lot of options there as well. So feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. Number is 715-598-1568, or you can email us at info@northernwoodswellnessllc.com. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right on into what is mental health and how is that different from mental illness as well as from mental wellness. So if you notice, Northern Woods Wellness does not have mental health in there. It is more, we approach mental health from the mental wellness approach. And so we'll talk a lot about that today. But just to kind of give you a quick overview of what I believe it stands out to be, and this is kind of based into our research and literature as well too, is that mental health is kind of your overall your overall health care that you are doing for your mental and emotional and even physical health. But mostly when it comes to mental health, it's going to be your overall health care, maintenance, coping strategies. Mental illness is going to be more when those challenges continue to impact your daily life. So maybe you heard last week's session, the 4 Ds of abnormal behavior. Mental illness is when we have those 4 Ds not lining up. And just as a recap, those 4 Ds are distress, dysfunction, danger, and deviance. So if your mental health is causing problems, then it's becoming a mental illness. Maybe it's causing distress in family or dysfunctions at work, danger due to substance use or suicidal ideations, or even deviation from societal norms and personal expectations. So that's what mental illness is. And then there's mental wellness, which is kind of this ongoing, proactive care that we all need to do. And it is getting more and more popular for people to use mental wellness instead of mental health. A lot of people kind of view mental health as more of the medical model, whereas mental wellness is that ongoing lifestyle changes, consistent processing, consistently bettering yourself, setting boundaries for the long haul. Mental health typically is kind of viewed as brief psychotherapy treatment options. And that's kind of how medical systems use it. Insurance companies use the term mental health, but mental wellness is getting more and more known around our popular culture and popular psychology. So today we're going to clear that all up, solve some myths, debunk some myths, and really give you some true facts based on some research. So I've gone ahead and done some significant research, not a ton, but I've done some research in some peer-reviewed scholarly articles that I was able to kind of give you clarity on what these two are. So we're going to jump right on and talk about that. So let's start with mental health right now as well. Mental health is going to be, is often defined as the absence of mental illness or psychopathy. So psychopathy is psychopathology. Mental health is often defined as the absence of mental illness or psychopathology. Unfortunately, that definition is rather vague, and it's also including a definition of something we're also trying to define today. So we're not going to use that approach because mental health is often measured in symptoms. So what we want to do is we don't want symptoms to occur. We want symptoms to stay small, to stay contained. The main focus of mental health care is symptom reduction or to prevent regression, but it's very symptom-based. Mental wellness, not so much that. So when you're thinking about the terms today, just think that mental health is more the medical model, particularly the Western medical model. Then we've also got another option that I'm going to show you as well too when it comes to just different aspects of this definition. So mental health is the absence of mental illness. Mental wellness is the proactive pursuit of well-being. It's also resilience and self-awareness and personal growth rather than mental health, which is emotional, psychological, and social well-being. So it's more that resiliency that we're trying to build, that empowerment that we try to build. And that is what Northern Woods Wellness is built on, is trying to empower. If you look at our values, our mission, our vision, you're going to see very clearly in there. It is about empowerment, individualization, as well as tailoring to your own unique needs. That is mental wellness. Mental health is usually a bit more reactive. Mental wellness, more proactive. And you can see this on the screen in front of you right now as well. It's a nice little table to kind of just look at the key elements of that. And then mental health cultural views, often pathologically oriented. Kind of like we talked about earlier. It's more about psychopathology, challenges that occur, symptomology. That is mental health, whereas mental wellness is more holistic and integrative approaches. And I think that works much, much better from my experience over the years, that mental wellness does work for people. It works for the long haul, and it seems like the gains really, really stay. That is why EMDR, or eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, is so powerful, is it's an integrative trauma approach. It's designed to help you focus on the trauma from a much more integrative, meaningful perspective that is addressing your belief system through in vivo exposure, which is kind of imaginary exposure, whereas other forms of mental health treatment, they might just do behavioral symptom reduction. I do not gravitate towards that way. Now, there are some therapists who do gravitate towards the cognitive behavioral therapy approach. I do not, because I did not feel like it was connecting well with my therapist. So that is, or excuse me, with my clients. So that is why I choose to go more the holistic, integrative through EMDR and mindfulness-based stress reduction. Theoretical model, you probably don't really need to know that too much. So I'm going to focus more on the theoretical model for mental well-being or mental wellness. It's very rooted in positive psychology or humanism. Humanism was created by Carl Rogers, and it often comes with positive regard, genuineness, and I can't remember the other aspects, but it's all about being positive and holding on to hope for clients until they can hold on to their own hope. So it's rooted in a tremendous amount of theoretical approach, but mainly positive psychology and client-centered and humanistic psychology. And then the treatment approaches in general, very much so for mental health, it's going to be symptom reduction and restoration of healthy coping strategies, whereas mental wellness is going to be more about the promotion of well-being and resiliency. So basically, in conclusion, the concepts of mental health and mental wellness are very different, but they're still connected. So you probably don't ever want to just do one or the other. But it's good, I think, as a clinician, also as a client, to come in looking at what you want to do. If you come into your first therapy session, if you're new and you've never done it, you probably want to go into it with the idea of, you know what, I do have some symptoms, or maybe I don't. Maybe there's something you really want to target, or maybe just coming in for general mental health maintenance. Mental health is more the targeted symptoms. Mental health wellness is going to be more of that, maybe I just want to improve and better myself and better my relationships. So there's a little tidbit for you as you're looking for therapists. Go in there with the idea of, am I looking for mental health or mental wellness treatment options? So you kind of look into that as well too. So just think about that in your life. What am I doing that is more mental health based, or what am I doing that is more mental wellness based? I want you just to sit with that for just a few seconds here. Let's give it about 15 to 20 seconds just to sit with it. Think about, what are you doing that is coping, that is more mental health, and what are you doing that is processing? That is going to be mental wellness. Maybe we're coping with video games or alcohol or exercise, food, sleep. All those are great ways to put out flames of crises but they may not really be letting you process your emotions. They're probably going to be letting you deal with them and get through them, but they're probably going to come back later on sometime in the near future, probably even that same day, because emotions are just come back all the time. But emotions are meant to be felt and not fought. And you also have to finesse emotions and not fight them. Mental wellness is the processing, the finessing, and feeling. Mental health is more, can be sometimes a little bit too intellectualized and can be fighting your emotions. So for me, my mental health coping strategies are probably exercise, playing video games, reading books, and getting outside and enjoying the nice weather and playing with my dogs. But those don't help me process the emotions. What really helps me process is meditation. I truly believe meditation is the number one way to process your emotions, because what happens during that is you're curious, you're open, you're allowing yourself to feel that emotion, even though maybe every part of your body and your brain is saying, don't do this, Tim. You've trained your brain years not to do this, but that is exactly why we want to feel it. Meditation isn't meant to feel better. It's meant to be aware, which is why many people come in and they practice meditation in my office and they hate it. And they think, well, it's not working, I feel worse. And I always say, nope, it is working. It's meant to create your awareness and curiosity, and it's going to feel kind of crappy. But it's helping you process. And the idea is that over time, you are continuing to use the healthy parts of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, the anterior cingulate, and not your amygdala, which I like to call Amy, is that fight, flight, or freeze response. And you see that in trauma a lot. A lot of trauma victims, their brain physically changes so that way their amygdala is running the whole show. But it shows that that is taken away from every other part of their brain that is needed for problem solving, that is needed for rational decision making. And that isn't a myth. That is 100% verified through functional MRI machines and very clear about what's happening and everything too in our current literature around not just trauma work, but also around general mental health maintenance. So really, really, really take that tidbit and challenge yourself to feel your emotions and never to avoid. I really think avoidance never has a place in our mental health, even in our healthcare. If we just avoid, things are just going to get worse. Even if it's going to suck to go in and talk to somebody about it or go and get meds, it's better to just do it and go in there and feel the pain. And that is what my job is, or Kelly's, or Tara's, or Tyler's. They're there to help you feel, guide you through integrative and theoretical approaches that have been found to work. So if you have any questions on that, you can always reach out to us and get connected. But my challenge for you is to really sit with yourself, challenge your mental wellness, challenge your mental health a bit, and I recommend shifting it to mental wellness. Now, if you are feeling like, hey, I've got a lot of suicidal thoughts, I've got no plan or actions. If you have a plan or action, it's better to really reach out to 911 or to call 988 for the mental health suicide crisis line. But if you do have symptoms you want to target, then that is going to be more of a mental health model, which, once again, all of our therapists or any therapist you see will be trained and able to help you with diagnosis and treatment. But if you are looking just to get in and maybe it's been a while and you just want to try therapy, then come at it from a mental wellness approach. It's very empowering and it's very positive and it's very hopeful. And I think that's why a lot of our clients at Northern Woods Wellness really appreciate and then also stay with their clinicians, is because we do emphasize that mental wellness piece here. You can even do it through yoga. You know, yoga is a great way to connect with your own self and to connect your mind, body, and your heart. And that is mental wellness as well. So thanks for checking in and tuning in today on the Find Your True North podcast series and vlog series. I apologize for a little bit of delay today, but we're going to get this up and running on Spotify, Apple, and on YouTube later. At this time, it is up and running, sorry. And then we'll go from there. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Email us at info@northernwoodswellnessllc.com or reach out to our office at 715-598-1568. Kaylee, my wife, is going to be your main contact at this time, as she is stepping into the director role, and I am stepping into more of the organic content teaching and supervision role, as well as being executive officer. Looking forward to connecting with you. Thanks for listening to that. That's a lot of information, but I love spending time with you. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.